Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Bogdan here. In this one we will be running Shadowmoon Burial Grounds on our Protection Paladin in order to show you guys what is the fastest and most efficient route when farming your bonus Valor in lower keys in order to get all your gear upgraded to the max item level possible. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section down below, share it with a friend. Now, let's get right into it. Alright, so Shadowmoon Burial Grounds is a pretty straightforward dungeon. It's not too hard, not too complicated to understand, but there are a couple of things that you can do in order to improve it for sure. Make sure that on this pack you have some form of magical damage mitigation up, because those mobs tend to really hurt. If you're running a high key, this mob is going to be on the right side by the time you're done with the mobs. Instead of pathing to the left. Even though that mob has spawned on top of it, we're still gonna pull it, it's fine. The only thing about this pack is the fact that it does... some of these mobs will teleport to a location you see there, and it does cries of anguish, and that's something that needs to be stunned. Tag those mobs, drop down, and they're going to snap. We don't need to sit here and kill them. We can just go pull the next pack. Did that guy just... Bro. Okay, that guy wanted to be cool and snap the mobs. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. He went to the edge and wanted to snap the mobs, but it's better if you don't do it. And just let the tank do it if he knows how to do it. Don't do it as a DPS. It's not worth it. You can get yourself killed in that situation. And this Void Slash cast by these mobs does do quite a lot of damage because this key is low. It's not going to do as much. And also be very careful when the mobs are going to be raging in higher keys. Let's wait for these two guys to come in and we're going to pull the boss. I'm going to pull this boss. I like to pull it in this area. And one way to trigger this boss is by running over one of the runes, counting it, hitting it, and pulling it all the way over here. One thing that DPS can do is they can sit on the opposite side so that the first set of daggers come down on the opposite side. But what most people do is they sit right here in the entrance. And the reason why we want to pull this boss over the way over here is because the ad is going to spawn on the opposite side. You'll see here in just a second. And that gives us more room. So there's the ad. Focus down the ad. You can see this buff on the ad with the countdown timer. If the countdown timer goes down and the mob is not killed, the boss is going to heal, regardless if the mob reaches the boss or not. When she teleports to the middle, make sure you stand in this outer circle. You don't need to stand just on this. You can also stand on anywhere in the outer circle where there's a rune. After this boss is going to be a pull that a lot of people tend to mess up, and especially healers and some of the other casters that are a little bit squishier, you might see them go down. These zombies, as we like to call them, these mobs, what they do is they like to randomly target people, and because they have this random aggro, sometimes they will just very hard hit a random target that is within a distance of them. Okay, make sure we kick that. I don't recommend pulling two Exhumers at the same time. unless you're actually paying a Protection Paladin or you're with an organized group and they know what to do. Let's make sure we go over here. We pulled this, we pulled that. Okay, let's kick that. Can anybody interrupt? Apparently not. When he teleports you to the other side, make sure you kill your ad. I never had the ad go outside of the boundaries. Let's see. Make sure it's on this side before I kill it. Actually wasn't able to hit it there. After this mob is dead, those guys can release. Because you will spawn at that boss. Now this next pack, what I like to do is I definitely like to hit that mob, hit the spider, kick the necrotic, cast, and then keep chain pulling into the next pack. In higher keys, those mobs will have higher HP. Also like to mark these mobs just so somebody can actually kick them. I'm gonna kick that one. Avenger Shield the other one, and I'm gonna pull them straight into the first worm. And typically you want to do the first worm with that pack, and then you want to do the second worm with the patrol bats. The main rule for these dungeons is there's a theme that you guys will see recurring within Dragonflight dungeon. That is that there's a lot of things that you need to do to progress the dungeon. Think about No Good Offensive, right? You need to do, you need to kill the ballistas. So there will be packs before each ballista, and then the first boss is going to become available. On the second boss, you need to kill the totems, and then the boss is going to become available. On the third boss, you need to kill those empowered mobs, and then the boss is going to become available. You know, the mobs on the hills. So you always need to think about it. This is the main rule in Dragonflight dungeons, is you need to do something that progresses the dungeon while at the same time always, also doing some other activity. The other activity means also make sure you don't get breathed in by this mob, by this boss, but it's no big deal. You can always use this to come back up. Also, make sure that everybody, if you do have ranged characters, you actually tell them to stay in melee, so that this thing spawns in melee. On high tyrannical keys, that is definitely worth killing the ads. Those two ads are actually the worms that you have fought earlier. It's just that they didn't die then. Beware. And again, the people here, the ranged, are still sitting in range instead of coming into melee in order to spawn one of those in melee. You want to spawn it in melee because that's going to help the melee sit in it, not get breathed in, so that they can do damage to the boss during that time instead of running around doing nothing. Hit that mob, Judgment that one. Kick that one. I don't have an Avenger's Shield for that one. I could have used Toll, but it's fine. I don't have Dispel Poison. Here, we're going to focus one down. Pop Boon. It's going to do Tears. Eye of Tear. Last mob. We call them blueberries because they have the form of a berry and they're blue. This is one of those dungeons that you can very highly optimize the route and do it very, very fast. It's actually one of the dungeons that I recommend if you guys need quite a bit of points to do. It's pretty fast to get into one. It might take a little bit, especially if the leader wants, you know, people with very high item level to join. Sometimes that might take a little bit too much, but it's also going to help you do the dungeon much faster. So, you know, spending a couple of extra minutes doing that, it's actually pretty fine. You also want somebody to sit in ranged on this boss in order to bait these. The wall is always going to come after the third one goes down. So that's the second one. We're going to have a third one over here. And you see this on the main floor? There's two arrows, if you can see right in the middle. See over here in the middle? I'll show you in just a second. You see these arrows down here? These arrows, the wall can only spawn on this side or on the opposite side of these two arrows. So it's indicated by these two arrows. It's either going to be on that side or on that side. It's not random. It cannot come from this side. It cannot come from where the chest is. It cannot come from where the portal is. It's always either from where this arrow is indicating or this arrow over here, distinctive arrow, is indicating. So if you can pre-move to one of those locations, you can be there ahead of time. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Check out some of the other videos about running dungeons in the fastest and most efficient way possible. And if you haven't seen it, check out the video on how I basically explain it, how to get into these bonus Valor groups, or how to make yours in order to be as efficient as possible, save up a lot of time, and potentially farm up to 1,200, maybe 1,400 Valor per hour in order to upgrade your gear to the maximum item level possible. I'll see you in the next one.